Yeah, I think we saw an exciting game tonight with a good result for LAFC. A game was always going to be difficult against a team who defends well and who's physical, who understands how to defend in a deeper block and do a counterattack. When we got the lineups before the game, it was very clear what the tactics were. So I don't think there were any surprises tactically going on out there. It was just a matter of execution from our players and keeping up the pressure as high as possible, as much as possible, to eventually break down the opponent. And I think that's what you saw in the last 25 minutes. Again, some contributions from the bench have been the story this year. And I'm sure some of you may ask that question. So we've been very happy with our bench play and our rotation and making sure that we're putting ourselves in those situations to win games in second halves. And I think that's very important. And again, I was happy with the effort from the guys tonight. I think in the final third, we can be a little cleaner with our passing and our movement. And that is something we'll work on this week, as we are always trying to improve. But I think for now, the boys should enjoy the evening and the victory, and the fans as well.
We'll go. Katya, we'll take questions inside, and we'll have a few on Zoom.
Hi, Stu.
Hi.
I will ask that question.
Yeah.
8 goals from subs this season. So what are you seeing repeatedly? We've talked about how deep the roster is, but from these guys, when's their turn to come on?
Well, we attempted to build the roster in a way where we can sustain a level of play throughout the entire season. MLS seasons are very long, grueling. There's a lot of travel, and so we knew we needed a deep roster. We need players who can start all the time. We need players who can come in and contribute, and we also want the ability to rotate to keep fresh legs. As you saw and you've seen this season, a lot of games have been won in the second half. And I think that is maybe a little secret to our success, is being able to put on fresh legs with enough quality to change the dynamic of a game. And I've been extremely pleased with the players to also grasp that concept of, even if I don't start, I can still be the star for the day. And I can still help the organization and the team win. And you see it in the locker room, you see it in the training field. Of course, there are disappointed faces when they don't start, but the effort when guys come on have been nothing but fantastic. And so I've been very pleased with the mentality of the group to accept those roles, because we do have a lot of good players and everybody has been contributing, and that's important to continue this throughout the season.
What have you seen from Cheeky in particular and the level that he's shown?
There are no defensive players who ever get the talk of being one of the better players in the league or MVP, but Cheeky's performances this year have been of that standard. And he's been amazing. He's been fantastic. It's a position that I like to think I understand, just on the other side of the field. I think there's still room for improvement in the offensive end in the final third, but the rest of his game has been phenomenal. And we're very proud of his progression.
Not just scoring, all 4 of your subs played a role in the goal today. But I want to get your thoughts on Ryan and just what he's added to the group. We saw it in Vancouver, we see it now with the scoring, but he does a lot more than that as well.
How can you wear a San Francisco Giants hat?
Thank you.
Yeah. What are you doing?
I'm trying to raise the class a little bit.
No, you're not. You're destroying it. Come on. Don't wear a hat at all then.
Sorry.
If you don't want to support LA, then don't wear a hat.
I'm always going to have this hat on.
Then I will always have a comment for you. To answer your question, so the reality is we have 3 very, very good outside backs with Franco, Ryan, and Cheeky. And all 3 are starters. I have the quality to start, but we play a 4-3-3, and I can't start 2. So the season is long, and all 3 of them will play an extremely important role for this club. And they've done that so far. And everybody will have enough minutes and play their role. And hopefully we all stay healthy.
And what specifically does Ryan bring you that might be different from the other 2?
Well, they're all different, and they all have different qualities. Cheeky is extremely well-rounded and tenacious. There's some days that I get out there and roll the ball with the guys, and Cheeky likes to kick me as well. And so he's very aggressive, and I love that. Franco is a pure competitor and has excellent timing moving forward. And Ryan is again, well-rounded, extremely experienced in MLS. He's a threat on set pieces that we've seen this year. And it's something that when we put him on at the end of the game, we're hoping for maybe that advantage.
Steve, in the big picture, you're 7-1-1 top of the table. Why is this working so well so quickly? Because you have a lot of good players, but several of them are new to the team. You're new, they had to learn a new system, everybody had to get together. Why is this working so well so fast in the standings?
It's not a new system. LAFC has played wonderful football in the past, and that was something we wanted to continue. And holding on to LAFC's DNA that Bob and his staff have from day one created was very important to me, and Ante Razov has a very important role in that. And this was something that we were very direct from day one. We wanted to continue down that path. I felt there were some areas where we need to improve, and it is in transition, and it is the work the back four does together, coordinated back four work, something that I'd like to think I know a little something about. And that's what we've been working on. And I think creating a more balanced team on the field is something we've been focused on since day one, and we've worked very hard at it. And I think we're seeing the results of that. And that's maybe the secret behind this early success in the season. And we are not even a third of the way through. So it's very early, but we are happy with the team, the way they're performing, the way they've embraced our training methodology, our principles, and our way of dealing with game day rosters and starting lineups, set pieces, and the whole bit.
I think, Steve, this is exclusive of the question about substitutes, but one thing you'll notice, because the opponents make subs as well, is you had 23, 24 shots, but as a team, just continuing to pepper the goal where that team starts to dip, and LAFC is always finishing strong in the last 15, 20 minutes. Is there a certain amount of work you put into that so that this team, after 90 minutes, is always the fitter, the stronger of the two?
Yeah, there's two factors play into that. I think one is trusting the process, trusting our way of playing, and this is a message we've been trying to get through to the team from day one in preseason. And it took a few weeks because this way of playing is also physically demanding. And the second factor, or I guess part of your question, is the training methodology and our performance department, and how much work they put in and how much detail we pay to the loading of training and trying to improve our physical output in games throughout the season. Of course, from match day 1 to match day 9 now, we'd like to see improvement. And a lot of it has to do with the opponents and the tactical strategy of the opponent. But I think we are seeing that our team is able to step up a notch physically, which is extremely important for our way of playing. And so I guess the answer to your question is twofold. It's one, trusting the process, and two, being physically fit, which is a compliment to our performance staff.
Steve, congrats on the victory. I know it's very early. You talked a lot about the players. Is there something you could share that you've learned about these guys that us in the media, people around, don't know about these guys?
Love your hat. This is a group of proud, friendly, talented, and interesting human beings. And before I even talk about their abilities on the field, it's a wonderful group of people. And we come to work every day and enjoy it and enjoy each other's company. At the same time, it's a competitive group trying to push each other and to get the most out of every minute we spend together. And I think that is, for me as a coach or a leader of a group, if you want to call it, along with the others in the staff, is all we can ask for. And if we continue down that path, I think we'll be happy with the result.
Hi, Steve. Celso Oliveira, Derogatory, MLS Brazil. Thanks for taking my question. would you rate Cristian Arango's performance so far this season after 10 games? Do you think that he's up to your expectations?
Short answer, yes. He's worked hard to get to where he is today. I don't have the physical numbers handy right now, but just from my subjective opinion, he was really good tonight defensively, pressed hard, ran hard, came up a bit short offensively, but did his part, played his role, was able to occupy two defenders most of the time. And so, yeah, he's gotten better. And it was, mentally for him, not always easy, not starting. But he's put himself in a position now to start. I think he started the last 4 games. He's put himself in a position to succeed. He scored some goals, and he's working hard, and he's a contributor to our success. And I'd hope that was the case from day one. It wasn't, but that's how this is sometimes. Sometimes guys come in a little injured. Life happens, and so we manage and make the most of it. But he's been in a good way, and we hope to keep him that way.
We'll take 2 questions from the Zoom. Go ahead.
Thank you. We'll go ahead and start with Alex coming here.
Thanks, Crystal. Hi, Steve. Congrats on the win and thanks for being here. I would like to ask you about Jose Cifuentes. In the virtual media this week, he said that he was not okay because for the injury he has, 2 weeks ago or 1 week ago. But I want to ask you about that's the reason that he started on the bench, or you see something else?
Physically, he's fine. We won't feel the player who's not 100%. Sifu is an amazing player for us. You saw, I think, his efforts today, his technical ability, his physical abilities to scoop up second balls, to win second balls, to take the balls away from opponent and then portray that ball went into an attack is a very special quality of his. He's a true box-to-box 8 and can very well start every game. But again, we have in that position 3 very good players, and we will need all 3 of them all season long. And I couldn't be more proud of all 3 of them to embrace the competition and to have a positive attitude towards each other and to push each other. And I think all 3 of them are getting better and continue to get better. And yeah, Sifu could have very easily started tonight. He could start next week. We know his qualities, and there are nuances that help us make decisions on the weekend, and we go from there. It's just part of the business. You can only play with 11 players. I've tried to put 12 out there, but I was told I'm not allowed to.
Last question comes from Jose Lopez.
Thank you very much, Crystal. Hello, Steve. Congratulations on the win. It looks like every LAFC attack passes through Ilya Sanchez. How can you evaluate his performance tonight?
He's the catalyst. He connects the back to the front. And on top of that is gifted technically and can make clever passes and understands the flow of the game. He's a very high football IQ. He knows when defense is moving one direction, maybe it's a smart pass to play diagonally in the other direction to the weak side at 8. So he understands the flow of the game and dictates a lot of our play. Part of that is the position. So if you watch other teams who play a 4-3-3, I think that position or your comment is true of that position. But on top of that, Ilya's personality and his qualities defensively and offensively is exactly what we needed. And we found that in him. And on top of that, he's a top professional. Comes in every day early, leaves late, takes care of his body, helps out younger players, is inquisitive, asks questions, relays messages. So just for me, a blessing having him. And again, compliments to our technical staff, our soccer ops, who have been on top of things this offseason, have built an amazing roster.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Aren't you a Padres fan?
No comment.
Yes.